friends. Happy Monday to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Thank you so much for joining us here on ABC24 We are also on Facebook and YouTube here, getting an update not only on the storms we had late Sunday night, but on our next round of severe weather. You can tell it is severe weather season in Memphis. Seems like we just cannot get a break lately, but it's been pretty rough here for the last couple of weeks. If you missed it last night, we had some really nasty storms in parts of the Mid-South. I want to take you to some video. This is from down in Hernando. We had wind gusts 70+ miles an hour that came through Hernando last night. Power was out to over 7,000 customers in DeSoto County. You see there a tree that fell on a home, large tree there. DeSoto County schools actually out of class on Monday due to the severe weather and all of the power outages. No injuries reported, thankfully, but quite a mess down in DeSoto County and Hernando. There was a tornado warning issued for this area late last night, right about 10:15. Unclear, though, if this was just from straight line wind damage or if it was actually from a tornado touching down. Of course, wind can do just as much damage as a tornado. The National Weather Service is out in Hernando doing a storm survey today. We should get those results at some point later on to tell us whether or not this was an actual tornado or just from straight line wind damage. I do want to show you now, though, some of the storm reports from that cell. It developed about 8 o'clock last night over near Forest City and Wynn. It actually started out as a hailstorm near Forest City and Wynn, and then as it came across the river toward West Memphis into Memphis and especially into DeSoto County, that's when it switched from more of a hail concern to a wind concern. All these little red dots throughout DeSoto County, that is where we had wind damage reported. So anywhere from Walls to Lake Cormorant, over toward the Eudora and Love areas, into Hernando, Lewisburg, and then actually into Byhalia as well. We had several reports of damage from high winds. Again, there was the possibility that we had a tornado touchdown. We had a warning out for that area at the time. But again, sometimes high wind can do just as much damage as a tornado. So we'll have to see later on from that storm survey if this was actually a tornado or if it was just from the high winds. We'll let you know, of course, as soon as we get that update. We have to stay alert, though, because we have more severe weather on the way for Tuesday. This is your severe weather outlook for Tuesday, and we're really going to be watching areas east of the Mississippi River on Tuesday. West Tennessee and North Mississippi, they're in that highest risk, a level 3 out of 5 risk. But even in Arkansas, it's a level 2 out of 5. I do expect storms to kind of grow and intensify as they move east through the day tomorrow. So that's why that highest risk is for Memphis and points to the east. That's why we do have another weather impact alert out. Here's what we're thinking. Another round of severe storms Tuesday. We actually do have the chance of some storms early Tuesday morning. We have really bad severe weather back to our west in Oklahoma Monday night. And then as those storms get closer to us, they're going to weaken, but that could still bring in a couple of storms early Tuesday morning. Some of those could be heavier. Some of those could be a little strong. So I don't want you to get caught off guard. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., even 7 a.m. Tuesday, we could be dealing with some strong thunderstorms in parts of the Mid-South, but those will be in a weakening state. By 8 or 9 a.m., those will be done. But then what's going to happen is, as the atmosphere kind of heats up, we get a little bit more humidity. We're going to see another round of thunderstorms develop Tuesday afternoon. And that's really what we're more concerned about. Yes, there's the chance of a couple of strong storms Tuesday morning, but I'm more concerned about Tuesday afternoon. That's when we face the risk of damaging wind gusts, hail, and maybe even a few tornadoes. We can't completely rule that out. So as you look at Tuesday's forecast, again, starting out with the chance of some strong thunderstorms, that morning commute could be impacted by a little bit of rain. Midday looks pretty dry, at least the late morning into midday. And then by the afternoon and evening hours, that's when thunderstorms redevelop. And it's that batch that will likely be the most strong and the most severe. We'll time it out on the hour by hour. And I'm actually starting it out Monday night at 10 p.m. And you'll be able to see back to our west. That's where that rough severe weather is going to be ongoing. So really bad storms for Monday evening and Monday night in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. As those get a little closer to us, they are going to weaken quite a bit. Now, this model I'm showing you here actually has the storms completely fizzling out before they get to us tomorrow morning. So that is a possibility. This morning round of storms tomorrow, it all depends on how much they weaken before they get here. They could weaken completely before they get to us. That would be, good news for the morning commute at least. But there is a potential for some storms to hang on early Tuesday morning. Regardless of if those storms make it or not, everybody is going to see storms redevelop in the afternoon. So this is 2 o'clock, right in the heat of the day, right along the Mississippi River. Those storms are going to start to blossom up. So they're going to fire up right along the river at about 2 or 3 o'clock and then move to the east and gain intensity as they do so. So by 2 or 3, we start to see storms in Dyersburg, Covington, Memphis, DeSoto County, down into the Delta. And then look how quickly they blossom up. This is 4 p.m. Strong thunderstorms in North Mississippi from Holly Springs down to Oxford and then into western Tennessee as well. They will continue to grow stronger as they move east. So we're going to really have to watch places like Corinth and Selmer. Tomorrow, right around dinner time, they're going to be getting that last push of the storms through our area. Damaging wind gusts and hail, big concerns with this, but tornadoes can't be completely ruled out. Notice though, by 6 p.m., the storms are pretty much out of here. So this is not going to last all night Tuesday night like what we've been seeing for the last couple of times. But by 6 or 7 p.m. Tuesday, those will be out of here. And then the rest of Tuesday night looks pretty dry. So again, the possibility is there for 2 rounds of storms. We definitely expect storms Tuesday afternoon and evening. There's a chance we see kind of an appetizer to that. Early Tuesday morning, we could see a couple of storms. Once again, wind and hail will be the biggest concern. Some storms could produce 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts. As we saw in Hernando, those winds can really do some damage. So pay attention to those severe thunderstorm warnings, because even if it's not a tornado, we could still see some pretty serious damage. Hail also possible in some of the thunderstorms. The tornado risk is on the lower side, but there are ingredients tomorrow for tornadoes, especially the further east you go toward Nashville. So the further east you are between Memphis and Nashville, the higher that tornado risk is going to be. So areas like Corinth, Selmer, Hardeman, McNairy counties, North Mississippi, we're really going to watch as those storms go to the east, because we do have at least some potential of a tornado. Again, it's a lower risk, but we can't completely rule out a tornado. I think the bigger concern, again, tomorrow is going to be the hail and high wind gusts. So the biggest concern for Tuesday is between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. Severe thunderstorms likely. Wind and hail, a big concern yet again. We could see wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour. That can do damage even if there's not a tornado. It does not take a tornado to knock down a tree, but a couple of tornadoes we also can't rule out. You need to stay informed and make sure you have a way to get those weather alerts. Actually, you need multiple ways to get those weather alerts. We have heard so many times over the last couple of weeks, the tornado siren didn't go off. My weather radio didn't go off. The weather radios in the Nashville area are down for maintenance right now. They have a bad severe weather system coming. The weather radios are not going to work. So while all of these are great, you need multiple ways to hear about those weather alerts. Make sure you have your phone on through the day tomorrow. Make sure you're in your settings where you have the wireless emergency alerts turned on so that they will make noise if a bad storm is headed your way. A weather radio is great. Of course, TV and radio, live streams like what we do here, those are great options. The tornado sirens, bear in mind though, they are meant to be heard outside. A tornado siren is likely not going to wake you up, and it's not supposed to be heard inside. We heard a lot of people in Hernando last night when that tornado warning came out, they didn't hear the sirens. And for the most part, that was because people were asleep and they have this mindset that tornado sirens are going to wake me up. What's really going to wake you up is your phone. You sleep right next to it. If you have those emergency alerts on your phone, if you've heard that loud noise before, you know it's going to wake you up. Thankfully, tomorrow's storms, they're going to be during the day, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., so we don't have to be as concerned about people sleeping through the storm. But either way, we all have lives. We're all going to be at work. We're all going to be coming home from school, trying to get the kids, trying to cook dinner. You're not going to be glued to the TV all day tomorrow, so it's still a good idea to have those phone alerts on. By the way, I do want to give you kind of a refresher of who in the world do we cover. We cover a big area at ABC24, and for the last couple of times, the storms have not hit everybody. We've seen that for the last 2 or 3 times. Some areas have been completely dry, while others are seeing a tornado. So for some of you, you're getting a little bit of the boy who cried wolf syndrome, and I understand that, but what I want to remind you is that we do cover a large area. So when we say there's a severe weather risk, when we say wind, hail, and tornadoes are possible, that doesn't mean it's going to happen in every single neighborhood, thankfully. But it does mean it's possible in our area. And this is the area we cover. Most of eastern Arkansas, most of North Mississippi, all the way down to Oxford. We get out to Corinth and Selmer, and then all the way up to Dyersburg. So we have a pretty large area that we cover. I do think for Tuesday, the severe weather threat, it could happen anywhere, but it won't happen everywhere. So anywhere in the Mid-South in this area needs to be prepared. And of course, if you do live in one of these counties, we do cover you. So if the storms do get bad enough, you can follow us on our live stream or on TV. By the way, if you don't have cable or satellite anymore, we're catching up with you. Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. If you have a smart TV, we have a streaming app you can download. A lot of you are watching me on it right now. We're live streaming this on our ABC24 Plus app. So just go there and search for your Roku, your Fire TV, your Apple TV, and we have continuous live streaming coverage there. Sometimes we do extended stuff. We can be on there for a couple of hours while we're not on TV. So you kind of get that exclusive, more in-depth content, just like we're doing now. That's going to be found on our Roku app for Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. So find us there. We also, of course, have our phone app. So Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, this gets out of here. By 7 p.m. Tuesday, this is done. Then we get a cold front that comes through, and that's going to get us out of this weather pattern for a while. I feel like we've been talking about spotty thunderstorms for the last 3 weeks, and we have. But this cold front that comes through Tuesday night is actually going to give us a nice little break from the storms. But I do want you to be weather aware. We've got the weather impact alert day for Tuesday, and that's just kind of a red flag for you to keep in the back of your mind that you need to be weather aware because the weather is possibly going to impact your day, especially tomorrow afternoon. That's our highest risk of severe weather is tomorrow, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. There could be a couple of storms early in the morning, but the afternoon on Tuesday has the best chance for severe thunderstorms. Again, though, the cold front comes through Tuesday evening. By 7 p.m., the storms clear out. We look much better. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, rain chances go down, sunshine returns, and it does get a little more comfortable. 82 with sunshine Wednesday, 77 on Thursday, 74 Friday. It does look like chances for storms come back a little bit by the weekend. I don't think it's going to rain all weekend long, but we're going to be back into more of that spotty thunderstorm pattern like what we have been in. So don't cancel your plans this weekend, but do be aware. I think it's Memorial Day weekend, actually. So I know a lot of people will probably have plans. Yeah, it is Memorial Day weekend. So this month has flown by. I think it's all the storms we've had. But Monday, Memorial Day. So a lot of folks are going to have that 3-day weekend. Don't cancel your plans. It is not going to rain the whole weekend long, but it's a weekend you are going to have to be aware. We could have some pop-up thunderstorms at any point. Great way to keep ahead of the storms is with the ABC24 app. It's free. Search ABC24 in your app store or in Google Play. We have the radar there, the hour-by-hour forecast, the 7-day forecast, everything you need. So if you do have an event this weekend, just keep that app on you, and we will let you know if one of those bad storms happens to be headed your way. Of course, we are going to be all over this weather situation just like we always are. Myself and meteorologist Kit Thomas, we're going to be here through the day tomorrow, tracking the thunderstorms starting in the morning and continuing through the afternoon and evening. So wherever you're watching us now, stay with us, and we'll keep you updated through tomorrow as we get through what's been a pretty busy, severe weather season in Memphis and the Mid-South so far. Be good. We'll see you back here a little bit later, our next newscast on TV at 5 p.m. But, of course, we're always on ABC24.com and right here on ABC24 Plus.